Hello again, this is Rabbi Dr. Juan Marcos Barahona Gutierrez, and we're continuing our discussion on the topic of life after death from a Jewish perspective, of course. We have looked at the topic of Sheol. We've talked about necromancy, and we looked at one passage, quite interestingly, that talked about or implied the existence of life after death independent of Sheol, and it seemed to be focused in on the righteous, because most of what we had seen in the descriptions of Sheol were almost, in a sense, as punishment in some sense. At the same time, we looked at passages which imply that the righteous and the wicked go to Sheol. But the video that we did last time, presented a different perspective. Now, in this video, we're looking at Isaiah 66:24, and we read here, "Vayatzu v'ra'u befigrei ha'anashim haposh'im bi ki tolatam lo tamut ve'isham lo tichbe v'chayu dera'on lechol basar." And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have rebelled against me. So again, here we have the Pushaim, the rebels. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. Now here, of course, we have one of these passages which is very fascinating, because you can see in the development of later Jewish thought how something like this can play a part. We think about Gehenna or Gehinom, the lake of fire in certain apocalyptic literature. And you can see where this idea is sort of tied to this. Now, again, it's not explicit. We don't know what that implies in many ways, because it doesn't give us the elements that provide a complete understanding of it. But you can see where these passages can form the basis. And I think that's what's important. It's not that any of these passages independently create a definitive picture. What it is that they provide the bricks upon which later groups, including in this particular case, the rise of early Christianity, where they take these elements and they build upon them. And so that doesn't mean that all Jewish groups in later periods use the same bricks in the same way to construct the same, if you will, theological edifice. But you can see some of the elements beginning to form here, because now we have a little bit more the implication. Again, it's not a direct one, but it's not explicit, but there's a little bit of a hint here that perhaps we're looking at some type of punishment that continues on beyond simple death. Again, it's not something that is overtly stated, but you can derive that, I think, when you look at the context of other material. So this is the one verse that we wanted to cover in this video, and we'll continue on with our discussion in subsequent videos.